Okay, so it's another day, and it's another day of xQc being called out. Now, this is quite funny because this has spiraled once again in terms of the VTuber space of many people calling him out for being a hypocrite. Because recently, if you don't know, there's a clip that we looked at in the last video where essentially he was talking about Neuro Sama and talking about the fact of, childlike themes and saying, how come a lot of anime have a lot of voices, songs that sound like children, lullabies, and people love that. Feel like it might be fueling a part of them that is genuinely a threat to society and validates them. Which obviously, yeah, you can obviously tell what he's trying to imply there by, saying that people that watch, people like Neuro Sama or other kind of more, I guess, not even childlike, because again, I don't even think Neuro Sama is that childlike, obviously a little bit, but even, some of the lolly kind of VTubers and things like that, right? That he's trying to imply that if you watch them, that you are like a threat to society, which obviously is not true. And we all know that's not true. But xQc continues to kind of push this despite being so positive about them previously, which we also looked at in another clip. Now, obviously, this has got a lot of backlash from many people in the VTubing space and just anime space in general as well, because he's kind of hit two kind of nails here. In terms of, he talked about this while looking at Neuro Sama, despite he did say, I'm not talking about Neuro Sama, but he literally said it after watching the clip. I feel like it's pretty obvious what he's talking about, and he didn't want to catch the heat from that. And also, he goes into talking about anime too. So he's kind of hit the VTubing community and the wider anime community as well, which I think is quite funny because, yeah, people are not happy. And many people brought up the fact that, for example, the Doki Bird situation, PTSD might be kicking in for xQc once again, because he seems to have this hatred towards VTubers ever since he lost out to a tournament with Doki Bird's team in it. Now, Doki Bird wasn't actually competing in it, but obviously, her team ended up winning against his, which I think was quite funny. But yeah, people have now been calling out xQc, obviously after him kind of claiming that, oh my god, it's so weird, and that it's so, that it's a threat to society, and, implying that you're essentially a PDF if you kind of consume this content often. And people have been responding with clips, for example, like this one. Here you go. I think this is hilarious. So yeah, as you can see, he obviously zooms in on a certain area of that character there. More of a childlike character. I don't know who this character is actually. I haven't actually seen whatever this is from. But again, you could argue that it has a more childlike kind of, what do you call it, appearance. It's small. It's kind of like a gremlin type thing. But again, I don't know if it is or not. But many people have been obviously calling him out because it has very similar features and similar kind of, shape to, people like Neuro Sama, who are quite small and whatever, right? And people have been calling out even more clips because this isn't even the worst clip. As someone in the comments actually pulled a little clip from Hero Hayes' video. Definitely go follow him. This is also another clip apparently. Wait, this guy's screen recording. There you go. He's playing it in VR.
There you are.
And then just take a look at what he does.
Oh, okay, dude.
Like, bro. And meanwhile, his whole chat is going, I'm enjoying this, and a lot of people say, I lost. So, all of these people in his chat as well are also giving into this and, kind of having this behavior, which I think is quite funny considering this is the behavior he was talking about in his last video, last clip, that he disliked so much and thought was weird and thought that, that a general threat to society. So I guess xQc, by his own definition, is a threat to society because he also has been engaging in certain content too. So I think it is pretty interesting, right? And many people have been clowning on him for it. It's got 4,000 likes, 164,000 views. People saying, what is this game? I'm going through the whole VOD right now. And that's a lot of jiggle for literally nothing. The concept of moe is too powerful for the Western mind. They say show at the time he used VR to look up her skirt, which obviously was the clip that was in the replies there. And obviously, yeah, saying xQc is just a huge tsundere, which, to be honest, yeah, I could see that, to be honest, because this happens all the time. And xQc crushes out over VTubers or anime or something like that along those lines. And it just becomes to the point where it's like ridiculous because he goes against a lot of the actions that he has done himself, right? And this has also been a very, very popular clip over on LSF2, obviously the worst kind of clip platform, I'd say, over on Reddit. They say xQc questions why anime VTuber culture is centered around child themes. Obviously, people saying every thread on this topic goes the exact same way. Saying hilarious how every top comment is trying to deflect off a topic they don't want to comment on. They don't want to comment on this because there's nothing that they can say that will help. You watch a content creator online, therefore you, children is not a logical solution. No argument is going to convince the accusers otherwise. That how come I only get an answer when I ask why VTubers look and sound 12, which is quite funny. So Reddit is the last place discussions about these topics should be had on. People are way too emotionally charged to look at the facts properly and end up saying some generic stuff. So like, yeah, Lapido bad. Which obviously, yeah, lots of people have been commenting on it. People with the popcorn as well. Many people refusing to comment on it too, which I think is quite funny. Many people are just essentially, pointing at the fact that, hey, let's not forget xQc was playing that Galgun game about high school girls and started zooming in into a lolly's chest. People saying, closet weeb aware, I know what you are. I know what you are. Which obviously is quite funny. So we all know why, and there's a reason for most normal people find VTuber watchers to be freaks. Same dude who justifies lolly anime by saying the characters are actually hundreds of years old. Which obviously, they're defending xQc in his point there, but I don't know if they've seen the clip of him going exactly against his point. Now, again, obviously, should xQc be locked up for this? No. But in xQc's mind, does he think people should be locked up for this? He thinks they should. And I think it is quite funny because he just completely goes against it, right? And it's his own doing. We didn't have to do anything. Nobody had to do anything to call this guy out and say, oh, actually you're wrong because of this and that. Like, people literally just dug up a couple of old VODs and clips and just went, oh, well, okay, you're instantly contradicting yourself. And yeah, what was this that you were doing the other time? And people were just like, what? Like, seriously, like, why is this even a thing? Like, why are you even going after this? And I still think it is the Doki Bird derangement syndrome, right? I think that is the reason why he's going after it. I don't think it is because he genuinely hates, kind of lolly content or whatever like that, or kind of, as he says, childlike themes and things like that in anime. I think he is still mad at the Doki Bird PTSD thing, and he wants to find any way that he can to kind of go after VTubers or the anime space in general over it. And it is pretty sad to see, right? Because he ends up, kind of making himself out to be a little bit of a hypocrite, right? People say everyone is a lolicon, says you do not under any circumstances hand it to the streamers, but I gotta say big ups for being a Corona guy. Said the gas, but it's probably the most real he's ever been. Said this is the only good xQc clip I've ever seen. I said it's so unfortunate. I've seen quite a few very vocal antis that have surprisingly good taste when their likes got exposed back before Twitter hit them. xQc here seems to be in the same boat. People saying can't make this up, Lamau, which again, it is crazy, right? They're getting like so exposed. And this happens every single time. Every single time someone makes a comment about this, it always gets dug up that they also have kind of, went into this kind of content, right? And, found themselves to be a massive hypocrite. So I think instead of hating on it, he should have probably just left it alone and just continued about his day, because he knows that there are clips of him out here doing this kind of stuff. And it is pretty funny, right? And everybody is, kind of just clowning on him at this point, because he does seem to be essentially the lolcow of the kind of VTubing community right now. Because again, he continues to make these like absolutely insane comments and absolutely insane things, and just ends up getting dogged on every single time because people know that he's stupid. People know that, a lot of his points aren't very thought through. He hasn't thought about previous stuff that he has done that could maybe affect it, like this, for example, right? So I did think it's kind of crazy, like, yeah, how quickly he gets proven wrong every single time by the VTubing and wider anime community as well. And I think it is so funny that it has happened once again. And yeah, we're starting to see a lot more bigger streamers get involved in the VTuber space in terms of they are making comments about it whenever they don't know things, and all of them end up getting exposed, because that's the problem whenever they do this kind of stuff. They don't know enough, they lack the research, they lack the information, so they make comments and then they get quickly called out or quickly kind of proven wrong in the replies or the quote retweets, right? And it just ends up being this stupid thing. For example, with like the Lacy stuff, with Neuro Sama, it just like, you know, that turned into a pretty funny situation too, because he's completely misinformed who was on stream. He said there was no humans on the stream when Vedal and Camilla were both on the stream, which obviously was quite funny because it just shows you how little these guys know and how quickly they are to hate on them, which I think, yeah, it's hilarious. And obviously this is going to continue, and I hope that everybody still continues to clown on them as, you know, a lot of their previous behavior gets exposed as they're actually a secret fan of it and are pretending to hate it right on their stream, which I think is quite funny. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.